Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube station. Just finished watching some tabletop baseball with Earl. It was a fabulous time. Remember to check out Tabletop Baseball with Earl and Earl. They do a wonderful job with the dice baseball game, and their chat is second to none. If you're a baseball fan, always a good time in that chat. Also check out ID Gesture's channel. He does a wonderful job. Alright, now on to our tournament game today. Game 1, we're going to try to get 2 in, but Game 1 tonight, the 1979 Montreal Expos versus the 1971 Pittsburgh Pirates. The Expos are the 5 seed, and the Pirates are the 4 seed, so this should be a very good game. If you haven't seen the first 2 games of this tournament, they were excellent, so if you want, go back and check them out. The games between the 1 and 8 seeds, absolutely fabulous. So let's quickly get to the game here. They're playing at Three Rivers Stadium, as Pittsburgh is the lower seed, seed number 4. Doing the pitching for Pittsburgh is Steve Blass. And on the mound for the Montreal Expos, Rudy May. And let's quickly go to the Expos lineup. Batting first, playing right field, Jerry White. Batting second and playing second base, Dave Cash. You'll also notice that Dave Cash is on the 71 Pirates. So he's on both teams. Batting third, Gary Carter doing the catching for Montreal. I'll be playing as the Expos. I play as the lower seed all the time, unless it's the Boston Red Sox. I always play as the Boston Red Sox. Batting fourth, playing third base, Larry Parrish. Batting fifth, the center fielder, Andre the Hawk Dawson. Batting sixth, Warren Cromartie playing left field. Batting seventh, Tony Perez playing first base. I went back and forth between him and Rusty Staub, but I went with Tony Perez, better defender. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Chris Spire. And batting ninth, doing the pitching for the Expos, Rudy May. For the number 4 seeded home team, Pittsburgh Pirates, leading off, Dave Cash. Plays on both teams, playing second base. Batting second, the legendary Roberto Clemente. He's playing right field. Batting third and playing left field, Willie Stargell. That's an interesting move. Batting fourth, playing first base, Bob Robertson. Batting fifth, playing third base, Richie Hebner. Batting sixth and doing the catching, Manny Seguin. Batting seventh, playing center field, Al Oliver, who would later go on to play for the Expos, as you can see. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Gene Alley. And batting ninth, doing the pitching, Steve Blass. Let's see if we can go to preferences here. Alright, it's on small. Alright, so I loaded this field. Hopefully it plays the way it's supposed to. Everything should be moving correctly when the ball's hit. So Steve Blass in 1971 for Pittsburgh won 15 games, lost 8, ERA of 2.85, batting average against 249, struck out 136 and only walked 68. Leading off for Montreal, Jerry White. And in 1979, Jerry White batted .297, 3 home runs and 18 RBIs in 138 plate appearances. White is a switch hitter. He'll be batting left-handed against the right-handed throwing Blass. Manny Seguin's behind the plate. He flashes the sign. Here's the windup and the pitch to White. And he rips that ball into right center field for a single. We could get a hustle double here. We got a 76% chance of sending him. I'm going to send him. Here goes a throw to second, and he's in there. So a leadoff double for Jerry White. So Montreal is already cooking with some gas. Now up next, Dave Cash. He's playing second base for the Expos in 1979. He batted .321, 2 home runs and 19 RBIs in 187 at-bats. And he hit .326 off right-handed pitching. Blast gets the sign. He sets and delivers to Cash. And Cash rips that ball deep. Clemente makes the catch, leaping up against the wall. White tags up, so what a catch by Roberto Clemente. White tags up and goes to third. 1 out. He's 90 feet away from giving the Montreal Expos a 1-0 lead. And in the chat, a good dear friend of the channel, Beatles Eternally, he says, "Let's go Bucks." He's a big Pittsburgh Pirates fan. Unfortunately, Beatles, I'm managing the other team, but I wish your team well. So, 1 out, Gary Carter comes to the plate. Expos catcher in 1979, batted .283, 22 home runs, 75 RBIs. Off right-handed pitching in 79, batted .288. 1 out, 1 on. The windup and the pitch by Blast. And Clemente catches it. I couldn't tell if he caught it. He does, tagging up and scoring from third on the RBI sacrifice fly is White. 1-0 Expos. 2 outs and no one on now. As Beetle Eternally says, "Sure you do." And he says he's so glad Three Rivers is gone. I agree, the new Pittsburgh Pirates Stadium is beautiful. So 2 outs, no one on, and Larry Parrish steps to the plate. Side note about Larry Parrish. In 1988, the Boston Red Sox pick him up off waivers, and he is part of Morgan Magic. And actually for about a 2-week to 3-week period, he hits like a monster for the Red Sox and helps them win a division title. Those were important games. Morgan Magic, the 88 Red Sox. Alright, so Parrish in 1979, fine year. .307 batting average, 30 home runs and 82 RBIs. And he batted .297 off right-handed pitching. Blast looking to get the third out of this inning, limit the damage to 1 run. Seguin goes through the signs. Blast sets and delivers to Parrish. And Parrish singles into left field. A 2-out single for Larry Parrish. 5 out of 10 speed. 46% chance of stealing second base. Manny Seguin, below average defensive catcher, above average arm, 6 out of 10. Let me go quickly through the defense. Hepner at third, a poor defensive range. Gene Alley, solid, 7 out of 10 at short. Dave Cash playing for both teams, as you see, above average at second. And Bob Robertson, above average at first. Willie Starcher's playing left, average with a below average arm. Al Oliver's in center. Very good center fielder, 7 out of 10. Poor arm. And the best outfielder, just a tremendous ball player, Roberto Clemente. Enough said about that. Outstanding Roberto Clemente. So 2 outs, Parrish is at first. Andre Dawson, the Hawk, comes to the plate. Dawson batted .275 in 1979, 25 home runs and 92 ribbies. He batted .269 off right-handed pitching. The windup and the pitch by Blast. And Dawson pops it up in foul territory, and Robinson makes the catch right near the stands. What a play to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the first, 1-0 Expos, due up for Pittsburgh. Cash, Clemente, and Stargell. So Dave Cash to lead off for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and this is the first time in the tournament that we've come across a player who plays for both teams. I've decided to let them play. You know, it's a retro replay from teams of different years, so let them play. That's the way I look at it. I was going to possibly go with who the player played with first, but I decided, nope, let him play for both teams if he gets in the lineup. So Dave Cash in 1971 for the Pittsburgh Pirates batted .289, 2 home runs, and 34 RBIs. He'll be facing the left-handed throwing Rudy May for the Expos. In 1979, May went 10 wins, 3 losses, earned run average at 2.31. Batting average against .255. Struck out 67, walked 31. His battery mate, Gary Carter, an excellent catcher. At third base, Larry Parrish, 5 out of 10 defensively. Chris Spires, above average at short. Dave Cash, also above average at second base. Wouldn't it be funny if Cash grounds out to Cash? And Tony Perez, a very good defensive first baseman, rounds out the infield. In left field, we have the very, very good Warren Cromartie. Andre Dawson, excellent range. Defensively, 9 out of 10, above average arm. And then Jerry White in right field. Average defensive range, above average arm. So Rudy May gets the sign from Gary Carter. Here's the windup and the pitch to Cash. And that's grounded to Perez. He takes it to the bag himself. 1 up, 1 down, and Roberto Clemente steps to the plate. In what would sadly be his last year in baseball, 1971, he tragically died in a plane crash while delivering humanitarian supplies to Nicaragua, to the earthquake victims. There was a tremendous earthquake in Nicaragua, and I believe that was right around Christmas when his plane went down. Very sad. God rest his soul. Oh, great line. Beatles Eternally says, because I said if Cash, wouldn't it be funny if Cash grounded out to Cash? Beatles Eternally, the musician that he is, comes up with a much better line. He says, he would cash out. Very good, Beatles. I love it. So Roberto Clemente in 1971 batted .341, 13 home runs, and 86 RBIs. He batted .370 off left-handed pitching. So Clemente, a dangerous hitter here. We're going to see if we can get him to reach. The windup and the pitch to Clemente. And Clemente, oh wow! White was able to cut that line drive off in the gap and hold Clemente to a single. I thought Clemente was going to have a double there. So 1 out, Clemente's at first, 5 out of 10 base runner, 22% chance of stealing. Perez is holding him on. Willie Stargell comes to the plate. Pops, as he would later be known in 1979, when the Pittsburgh Pirates came back to beat the Baltimore Orioles from a 3-1 deficit and take the World Series, batted .295 in 1971, 511 at-bats, 48 home runs, outstanding, 125 RBIs. Though Stargell only batted .243 off left-handed pitching. So 1 on, 1 out. Here's the windup and the pitch to Stargell. 1-0 Expos. And Stargell sends that ball out to White and right. He makes the catch. Retreating back to first is Clemente. So 2 outs now. Clemente at first. And Bob Robertson steps to the plate. Robertson in 1971 batted .271 for the Bucks. 26 home runs and 72 RBIs. Off left-handed pitching, he batted .269. Carter goes through the signs. May toes the rubber. He sets and delivers to Robertson. And that ball's dribbled to Parrish, and Parrish boots the ball. So 2 on, 2 out. Inning should be over, but Parrish has the error at third. And Richie Hebner steps to the plate. Hebner batted .271 for the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1971. 17 home runs and 67 RBIs. And batted .291 off left-handed pitching. So this is a very dangerous batter that May has to face here. Wants to get out of this inning. 2 on, 2 outs. The windup and the pitch by May. And he strikes out Hebner. So the Bucks threatened but could not score. We go to the top of the second, 1-0, Montreal Expos. Due up for the Expos, Warren Cromartie, Tony Perez, and Chris Spire. If anyone gets on, the pitcher, Rudy May. Warren Cromartie, playing left field for the Expos in 1979, batted .275, 8 home runs, and 46 RBIs. Against right-handed pitching, he batted .274. Glass gets the sign from Manny Seguin. The windup and the pitch to Cromartie. And Cromartie sends that ball deep but foul. Clemente ran out of room there. So, full count here for Warren Cromartie. Glass toes the rubber. Here's the windup and the pitch. And Cromartie strikes out. Chase the pitch out of the zone. So 1 up, 1 down, and Tony Perez, former member of the Big Red Machine, steps to the plate. Expos first baseman in 1979 batted .270, 13 home runs, and 73 RBIs. He batted .274 off right-handed pitching. The windup and the pitch to Perez. And Perez dribbles it to Hebner, who throws over to Robertson for out number 2. So 2 outs, nobody on, and Chris Spire steps to the plate. Expos shortstop in 1979 batted .227, 7 home runs, and 26 RBIs. He only batted .222 off right-handed pitching. Glass and the Bucks are looking for a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the second. Spires will take. Here's the pitch. Strike 1. Fastball over. So no balls, 1 strike. Spire will swing away. And Spire singles up the middle. So a 2-out single. And Rudy May, the Expos pitcher, comes to the plate. May batted .143, no home runs, and 3 RBIs. Here's the pitch to May. Spire's at first, 2 outs. They throw over, Spire gets back. Once again, Glass toes the rubber, the windup, and the delivery. And May strikes out, inning over. So we go to the bottom of the second. Montreal 1, Pittsburgh nothing. Due up for the Pirates, Manny Seguin, Al Oliver, and Gene Alley. Manny Seguin, the Pirates catcher, in 1971 batted .319, 7 home runs, and 81 RBIs. He batted .347 off left-handed pitching. Dangerous batter here for Rudy May. Let's see if we can expand the zone. We're going to try to pitch around, meaning hit the corners. Carter goes through the signs, the windup, and the pitch to Seguin. And Seguin works a walk. Patience. He walks on the 3-2 count. That ball was low and inside. Tying run at first base, Al Oliver comes to the plate. The Bucks center fielder batted .282 in 1971, 14 home runs and 64 RBIs. Seguin, 6 out of 10 speed, 25% chance of stealing second. Tony Perez is holding him on. May sets and delivers. Expos looking to turn 2. And that ball's grounded to Spires, over to Cash, over to Perez. So they turn the double play, 6-4-3. 2 outs, no one on, and Gene Alley. Pirates shortstop comes to the plate. Alley batted .227 in 1971, 6 home runs and 28 RBIs. The windup and the pitch by May. That ball sent out deep and off the wall, and Alley gets a 2-out triple as Dawson retrieves the ball and throws it back in. So the weak-hitting shortstop shows a power surge and triples to left center with 2 outs. He's the tying run. 90 feet away, and the pitcher, Steve Blass, comes to the plate. He can help his own cause here. The Expos lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. Blass batted .120, no home runs and 2 RBIs. He'd like to find a hole through the infield here. May working quickly. Here's the pitch to Blass. Grounded to Perez, who flips to May, covering first, inning over. So the Bucks threaten, but do not score. 2-out triple is wasted. We go to the top of the third. 1-0 Expos. 2 up for Montreal, the top of the order. White, Cash, and Carter. Jerry White's at the plate. He's 1 for 1. He's doubled to right center in the first. The windup and the pitch by Blas. And that's going to be another double. This time left center. So another double for Jerry White. He's in scoring position. And it brings up Dave Cash, who if he grounds it to Cash, let me use what Beatles eternally said, he would cash out. Cash is 0 for 1. Only a 2 out of 10 bunting, so that's not good. So if you're thinking sacrifice, so worst case scenario, he wants to hit the ball somewhere on the right side on the ground. The windup and the pitch to Cash. And Cash dribbles it to Ali at short, who throws him out. So 1 out. Cash didn't do his job. He cashed in his chips. He couldn't move White over from second. 1 out. Gary Carter comes to the plate. Expos catcher. Base hit could knock White in from second base. Seguin flashed the sign. The windup and the pitch to Carter. And Carter singles into left center field. Oliver retrieves the ball. We have a 69% chance. Oh no, Clemente gets the ball. Ooh, he's got a cannon for an arm. 69% chance of Jerry White scoring. Jerry White's an 8. Clemente's arm's a 9. And we're going to send him. Here comes White. Here comes a throw, and Clemente guns him out at the plate as Seguin applies the tag. What a fine defensive play by Roberto Clemente. He cuts that ball off and then quickly fires an accurate, hard strike to the plate. Manny Seguin applies the tag. Oh, wow. Scoring threat averted by the hair, the chinny chin there by the Buckaroos. So 2 outs now. Gary Carter at first, and Larry Parrish comes to the plate. We took the gamble, 69% chance. We thought that was good enough. So Parrish steps to the plate. He's 1 for 1. He's singled to left in the first. Carter 5 out of 10 for speed, being held on by Robertson. The windup and the pitch by Blas. And that's a dribbler down to Alley, who muffs the ball. Another error. So we've seen an error from both teams. Now it's going to be first and second, 2 outs, and the Hawk, Andre Dawson, steps to the plate. Expos center fielder, he's 0 for 1. He'd like to get a hold of one. Manny Seguin flashes the sign. Blas toes the rubber. He sets and delivers. And Andre Dawson sends that ball out to Clemente. He makes the catch to end the inning. Big play in that inning was Clemente throwing out White at the plate in a bang-bang play. So we go to the bottom of the third, still 1-0 Expos. And Dave Cash, the Expos the Pittsburgh Pirates second baseman, comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Rudy May, the windup and the pitch. And that's grounded to Spire, who throws to Perez. 1 up, 1 down. And Roberto Clemente comes to the plate. He's 1 for 1. He singled to right in the first, and he just made a marvelous defensive play, cutting the ball off in the gap and quickly turning and firing a strike to Manny Seguin, who applied the tag to White to nail him at the plate, thus keeping the game a 1-run deficit. So Clemente 1 for 1. Carter flashes the signs, the windup and the pitch by May. And that's grounded to Cash, who throws to Perez. 2 up, 2 down. Willie Stargell steps to the plate. Stargell's 0 for 1. He's definitely a home run threat. He hit 48 home runs in 1971. May looking for a 1-2-3 inning here. The windup and the pitch to Stargell. And Stargell grounds it to Perez, takes it to the bag himself. Inning over. We go to the top of the fourth. Montreal still leads 1-0. 2 up for the Expos. Warren Cromartie, Tony Perez, and Chris Spire. Cromartie's 0 for 1. windup and the pitch by Blas. And Cromartie rips that ball to Hebner, who throws over to Robertson for the first out of the inning. Tony Perez steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Seguin goes through the signs. Blas nods his head. The windup and the pitch. And he strikes out Perez. Big swing and a miss by Tony. So 2 up, 2 down. And it brings up Chris Spire. Spire's 1 for 1. He singled up the middle in the second. Bucks looking for that 1-2-3 inning here. Here is the pitch. And Spire singles up the middle, but hits the ball up the middle, but Cash gloves it and throws it to Robertson. Inning over. I thought that was going through for another hit, but Cash proved me wrong. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 Expos. Due up for Pittsburgh. Robertson, Hebner, and Seguin. Bob Robertson 0 for 1 today. Robertson had 26 home runs in 1971. Another power threat here for the Pittsburgh Pirates. May gets the sign. The windup and the pitch. And that's grounded to Spire, who throws him out. So with 1 out, Richie Hebner steps to the plate. Pirates third baseman, he's 0 for 1. He also has an error. No, he doesn't. Alley has the error, excuse me, I'm sorry. Hebner had 17 home runs in 1971, if you're thinking one swing of the bat to tie the game up. He batted .291 against left-handed pitching. May sets and delivers to Hebner. And Hebner sends that ball deep and way gone. This ball game is tied up. Richie Hebner just crushed that pitch. 416. Wow. Unbelievable. 1-1 ball game here. And that should make Beatles eternally happy. And we also have Ken Castro just jumped in chat. How you doing, Ken? Thank you for joining me. 1-1 ball game here. 1 out and Manny Seguin. The Pirates catcher comes to the plate. Seguin walked in the second. Carter goes out and has a word with May. Now comes back behind the plate after that tremendous shot by Richie Hebner. He crushed that pitch. May's ready. The windup and the pitch to Seguin. And Seguin grounds to Cash for out number 2. 2 outs, no one on. Al Oliver steps to the plate. Pirates center fielder 0 for 1. He had 14 home runs in 1971. May toes the rubber. Here's the pitch to Oliver. And Oliver singles down the left field line. Cromartie quickly cuts it off, holding Oliver to a single. So a 2-out single. Oliver's a 6 out of 10 base runner. 22% chance of stealing second. Tony Perez holding him on. Ken Castro says, the old cookie cutter ballparks of the 70s. Yep. Ooh, Beatles says, Pittsburgh's Lumber Company. So 1-1, Oliver at first, 2 outs, and Gene Alley, who hit a triple his last time up. Surprising everyone here as he just barely missed a home run off the left center field wall. May looks over at Oliver at first, Perez holding him on. Here's the pitch to Alley. And Alley grounds it to May, who throws to Perez, inning over, but damage done. We have a 1-1 ball game going to the top of the 5th. Leading off for Montreal, Rudy May, the pitcher. He's 0 for 1. The windup and the pitch by Blas. And May singles. That's not a good sign when the pitcher gets a hit. So Rudy May is at first. 4 out of 10 base speed. 16% chance of stealing second base. And Jerry White comes to the plate. He's 2 for 2. He has 2 doubles. He doubled and scored in the first, and then doubled and was thrown out at the plate by Roberto Clemente in the third. Seguin flashes the sign. Blas nods his head. The windup and the pitch to White. And White strikes out. Big swing and a miss on the 1-2 count. So 1 out. May at first. Dave Cash of the Montreal Expos comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2. We're going to play a little hit and run ball here. He's 8 out of 10 for hit and run. Blast sets and delivers. And Cash puts that ball in play. Hebner throws the first. May advances to second. So with 2 outs, Rudy May's in scoring position. He's the go-ahead run. And here comes Gary Carter, 1 for 1. The Expos catcher. He flied out in the first, which scored White to give Montreal a 1-0 lead, then single to right in the third. May will be off on contact with 2 outs. The windup and the pitch to Carter. And Carter strikes out. So Blast works out of that jam. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still tied at 1. Leading off will be the pitcher, Steve Blast, and then the top of the order, Cash and Clemente. Blast is 0 for 1. May gets the signal. The windup and the pitch. And Blast singles right up the middle. Pirates fans are elated by the leadoff single by their pitcher. Blast 5 out of 10 speed, 20% chance of stealing second base. Perez holding him on. Now Dave Cash of the Pittsburgh Pirates comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2. So I believe that makes Cash and Cash 0 for 5 so far in the game, as they are each playing for each team. Hit and run 7 out of 10, bunting 4 out of 10. The windup and the pitch to Cash. And he grounds that into left field past Parrish for a single. So two singles to start off this inning. Pirates have runners at first and second. No outs, and the dangerous Hall of Famer Roberto Clemente comes to the plate. He's 1 for 2. He singled in the first and grounded out to the second in the third. RBI opportunity here for Clemente. Blast the go-ahead run at second. Carter flashes the sign. May nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Roberto. And that's grounded past Cash. Blast is held up at third. We have bases loaded, no outs. And guess who's coming to the plate? Bucks fans are getting very excited here at the stadium. Willie Stargell steps to the plate. Bases juiced, no outs. Stargell with a chance to hit a grand slam. Again, he had 48 home runs in 1971. Stargell 0 for 2 today. Fly deep to right and grounded to first in the third. And since this is a one-and-done tournament playoff style, I'm debating to pull the infield in. With no outs, 1-1 game, bottom of the 5th. We're going to move the infield in. So the infield moves in to try to cut the runoff at the plate. The windup and the pitch to Stargell. And he strikes out! What a huge pitch by Rudy May. As Stargell swings, it was tipped and Carter hung on to it. So 1 out, base is still loaded. That was some clutch pitching by Rudy May. And Bob Robertson steps to the plate for the Pirates. They don't want to squander this opportunity. They don't want to squander this opportunity. Hello, BB4 Gaming. How you doing, my friend? Hope all is well. As Beetle Eternally says huge out, that must not have made him too happy. So Robertson 0 for 2. The Expos looking to turn 2 now and get out of this inning. May gets the sign. The windup and the pitch. And he strikes out Robertson! So after loading the bases with 3 consecutive singles, the Pirates have now struck out twice. And it'll be up to Richie Hebner, who hit the game-tying home run in the bottom of the fourth. He's 1 for 2, 2 outs, bases loaded. Hebner struck out in the first and hit a blast in the fourth to tie this ball game up to right center. No place to put Richie. Carter goes out to have a word with May, now goes back behind the plate. Big moment here in this game. A lot of tension. May's ready. The windup and the pitch to Hebner. And Hebner dribbles it down to Spires. He throws to Perez, but Hebner beats it out. An infield hit. And 2-1. The Bucks now lead. Richie Hebner gets his second RBI. How different could both of those RBIs be? One, a bomb for a home run. And the second one comes when Richie Hebner just hustles down that line and gets an infield hit with bases loaded. Wow. Spectrum from two different ends of the world there. So bases still loaded, 2-1 Pittsburgh, and Manny Seguin steps to the plate. Seguin's 0 for 1. He walked in the second and grounded out in the fourth. May not out of the jam yet, obviously. The windup and the pitch to Seguin. And Seguin sends that ball deep and off the left center field wall. And we're going to throw to the cutoff man. 2 runs score. It's now 5-1. Pittsburgh's exploded for 4 runs here in the bottom of the fourth with 2 outs. Seguin clears the bases with his double as runners were off on contact. Beatles eternally must be loving this now from the Netherlands. Al Oliver comes to the plate. May's up to 95 pitches now, and that's probably going to be it for him. Oliver's 1 for 2. Grounded to short in the second, singled in the fourth. And all hands on deck here. We're looking to see who we have in our pen here. We're going to come in with Bill Atkinson. He only threw 13 2/3 innings, but his batting average against lefties was .091. So Atkinson's going to come in and try to get this one out here. So Atkinson comes in out of the bullpen. 5-1 Pittsburgh. They've exploded for 4 runs here in the bottom of the fourth. Hello, Max Cornelius. How you doing, my friend? Hope all is well. Thank you for joining us. Oliver 1 for 2. Atkinson in 1979 for the Montreal Expos had a 1.98 ERA, 2 wins, no losses, 1 save. Again, only 13 innings pitched. Struck out 7, walked 4, batting average against 170. The windup and the pitch to Oliver. 2 outs, Seguin at second. And Oliver lines out to Spires. So the Expos get out of it finally, but the damage is done, and done a lot. We go to the top of the 6th. The Pirates take the lead 5-1. 2 up for Montreal. Parrish, Dawson, and Cromartie. Larry Parrish 1 for 2 today. Singled in the first, grounded out in the third. Last now 77 pitches. He's good for 135. The windup and the pitch to Parrish. And Parrish sends it to Alley, who throws the first for out number 1. So with 1 out, Andre Dawson steps to the plate. Expos center fielder, he's 0 for 2. Seguin flashes the sign. Glass nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Dawson. And Dawson strikes out. Big swing and a miss. 2 outs, no one on, and Warren Cromartie steps to the plate. Expos left fielder, he's 0 for 2. And if you're an Expos fan, you're thinking he's due. Blast toes the rubber. He sets and delivers to Cromartie. And Cromartie strikes out! Inning over! To the applause of the Pittsburgh Pirates fans here at Three Rivers Stadium. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Pirates 5, Montreal 1. Due up for Pittsburgh. Alley, Blast, and Cash. Gene Alley's 1 for 2. Tripled in the 2nd, grounded to the pitcher in the 4th. Atkinson still on the mound. He only gave up a .226 batting average against right-handers. He's good for 40 pitches. The windup and the pitch. And that ball sent out to Dawson in center field. He makes the catch. So 1 up, 1 down, and here comes Steve Blast, the pitcher. He's 1 for 2. Blast grounded out in the 2nd and singled in the 5th. Atkinson working quickly. Here's the pitch. And that ball goes out to Dawson for the 2nd out. So Dawson makes the first 2 catches of this inning. 2 outs, no one on. Dave Cash of the Pirates comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3. Grounded out in the 1st and 3rd and singled in the 5th. That huge 5th inning that the Bucks scored 4 runs in. Atkins toes the rubber. Here's the pitch to Cash. And that ball is going to be a double off the right field wall. As it rolled down past Tony Perez, bounced off the wall, a 2-out double for Dave Cash, and Roberto Clemente comes to the plate. Clemente's 2 for 3. Singled in the 1st, grounded out in the 3rd, and singled again in the 5th. Carter flashes the sign. Atkinson nods his head. He sets and delivers. And Clemente sends that ball out to White, who makes the nice running catch coming in to end the inning. We go to the top of the 7th. Pittsburgh 5, Montreal 1. Steve Blast is now up to 89 pitches. He's good for 135. 2 up for Montreal. Tony Perez, Chris Spires, and the pitcher Atkinson. Perez is 0 for 2 today. Manny Seguin goes through the signals. The windup and the pitch to Perez. And Perez pops that ball up. Seguin throws his mask off and he makes the catch right near the backstop. So 1 up, 1 down. Seguin retrieves his mask, goes back behind the plate. Chris Spires comes to plate. He's 1 for 2. Spires singled in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th. Expos need base runners. The windup and the pitch to Spire. That ball sent out to Stargell in left. He makes the catch. 2 outs. And Bill Atkinson comes to the plate, but he will be called back for a pinch hitter. And we're going to go with, let's see who hits right-handers. Staub 268, Hunton 263. Rusty Staub will come off the bench to pinch hit. La Grande à l'Orange. So 2 outs, no one on. Rusty Staub comes to the plate. In 1979, Staub hit 267 and only 86 at-bats for the Expos. 3 home runs and 14 RBI. He batted .268 off right-handed pitching. The windup and the pitch to Staub. And Staub singles up the middle. So a 2-out single. We go to the top of the order now. Staub 1 for 10. Runs as slow as dirt. Why Robertson's holding him on with 2 outs, I don't know. So Jerry White comes to the plate, the leadoff hitter for the Expos. White 2 for 3. He has 2 doubles and a strikeout. The windup and the pitch by Blass. 2 outs, 1 on. And White hits that ball back to Blass, who throws the first inning over. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 5-1 Pittsburgh. We need a new pitcher. Okay. So, we need a new pitcher. Perez will stay in the game. We're not going to take White out. So. And who's going to come in? Due up for Pittsburgh, Stargell, Robertson, and Hebner. 2 lefties and a righty. Woody Fryman will come in. So, Woody Fryman comes in, the lefty. In 1979, for the Montreal Expos, he had a 2.79 ERA, 3 wins, 6 losses, 10 saves, 44 strikeouts, 22 walks, 248 average against. He'll be facing Willie Stargell. Willie's 0 for 3. Struck out with the bases loaded with no outs in the 5th inning. Expos thought they were going to get out of it when they got a second strikeout, but Hebner beat out an infield hit to keep the inning alive. Fryman gets the sign, the windup, and the pitch to Stargell. And Stargell sends that out to White, who makes the catch for out number 1. Now up, Bob Robertson, he's 0 for 3. Fryman working quickly. Here's the pitch. And he walks Robertson. And that brings up Richie Hebner, the man of the hour. Hebner, 2 for 3. Struck out in the 1st. Solo home run to tie the ball game in the 4th. Then an infield single with 2 outs, bases loaded, to put Pittsburgh ahead 2-1. And then the wheels on the bus, instead of going round, went off. The Bucs scored 4, and thus the 5-1 lead. So 1 out, 1 on. Hebner at the plate, lefty-lefty matchup. And again, Hebner hit lefties at a 291 clip in 1971. The windup and the pitch by Fryman. And he strikes out Hebner. So 2 outs. Robertson still at first, being held on by Tony Perez, and in fact, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to let Perez play behind him. Manny Seguin comes to the plate. Pittsburgh catcher 1 for 2. Walked in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, and doubled off the left center field wall in the 5th, which scored Cash, Clemente, and Hebner, giving him 3 RBIs. And that was with 2 outs. The windup and the pitch to Seguin. And that ball is going to be a double. And Robertson's going to try to score all the way from first. We're going to have to attempt to throw him out. Here's the play. They throw to Cash and now to the plate, but Robertson slides in safely. The relay throw not in time. Manny Seguin now has his 4th RBI of the game. The Bucs lead 6-1. As the Pittsburgh Pirates fans are feeling it here at Three Rivers Stadium. So Fryman will now face Oliver with 2 outs, and Seguin at second. Oliver 1 for 3. Grounded out in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, and lined out in the 5th. Lefty-lefty matchup. Carter flashes the signs. The windup and the pitch to Oliver. And that ball's grounded to Fryman, who throws the first inning over. But Pittsburgh scores another run on another Manny Seguin double. They lead 6-1 as we go to the top of the 8th. 2 up for the Expos. Cash, Carter, and Parrish. Still on the mound for Pittsburgh. Steve Blass, 97 pitches. Good for 135. Cash 0 for 3. Needs to break out of it if Montreal has any hope in these last 2 innings. The windup and the pitch to Cash. And that ball goes to Alley. He bobbles it, now fires the first, and they just get Cash. Good strong throw by Gene Alley. So 1 out. Gary Carter comes to the plate. Expos catcher, he's 1 for 2. Sacrifice fly for the only RBI of the game in the first inning for the Expos. Then singled in the third, struck out in the fifth. Last toes the rubber. The windup and the pitch to Carter. And Carter lines out to Blast. So 2 up, 2 down. Larry Parrish comes to the plate. The bearded one, 1 for 3. Needs to get on base to extend this inning. Singled in the first, grounded to short and reached on an error, and then grounded out in the 6th. 2 outs, no one on. The windup and the pitch to Parrish. And that ball goes out to Stargell, who makes the catch. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 6-1 Pittsburgh. The Pirates are 3 outs away from advancing in this tournament. Gene Alley comes to the plate. Pirates shortstop 1 for 3. Tripled in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, and fly to center in the 6th. Fryman's up to 27 pitches. He seems okay. He's out on the mound still. The pitch to Alley. And that ball's grounded to Cash for out number 1. Steve Blast comes to the plate. The pitcher's 1 for 3. He has a single. Fryman working quickly. Here's the pitch. And that ball's another single. So Blast now has 2 hits, 2 for 4. Perez again holding him on. And now Dave Cash of the Pirates, who's 2 for 4, comes to the plate. Grounded out in the 1st and 3rd. Singled and doubled in the 5th and 6th. Expos looking for a double play ball. Here's the pitch to Cash. And that ball is singled into right field. 1st and 2nd, and that's going to be it for Fryman. Clemente hits .370 off left-handed pitching, and he's 2 for 4, and Fryman is done. Looking for a righty now. And we're going to go with Elias Sosa. Sosa will come in. Elias Sosa, in 1979 for the Expos, ERA of 1.96, 8 wins, 7 losses, 18 saves. Batting average against, .220, struck out 59, walked 37. 1 out, runners at 1st and 2nd, Roberto Clemente at the plate, 2 for 4. Singled in the 1st, grounded out in the 3rd, singled in the 5th, and lined to right in the 6th. The windup and the pitch by Sosa. And that ball goes out to Cromartie. He makes the catch at left. Runners retreat back to their bases. 2 outs, 2 on. Willie Stargell comes to the plate. Stargell's 0 for 4. Sosa sets and delivers to Pops. And that ball sent out to White. He makes the running catch in right center. Inning over. We go to the top of the 9th. 6-1 Pittsburgh. The Pirates are 3 outs away from advancing. 3 outs away from advancing. How does that make you feel, Beatles eternally? Blast still on the mound. 104 pitches. Good for 135. And the last hopes for the Montreal Expos: Andre Dawson, Warren Cromartie, and Tony Perez. Dawson 0 for 3. The windup and the pitch by Blast. And that's a single into center field. So the leadoff runner's on here in the top of the 9th. Expos trailing by 5. Warren Cromartie comes to the plate. He's 0 for 3. Again, Robertson's holding on Dawson. Why, I don't know. They're up 5 runs. Dawson, 9 out of 10 speed. 43% chance of stealing second, but he will stay put. Seguin flashes a sign. Blas nods his head. He sets and delivers to Cromartie. And Cromartie strikes out. The Bucks are 2 outs away from advancing. Tony Perez steps to the plate. He's 0 for 3 today. Blas wants to work quickly. The windup and the pitch to Perez. And Perez grounds it to Ali, and that's going to be... Is that a double? No! Perez beats it out. I thought that was going to be a double play ball, and Cash is hurt and has to come out of the ball game. And replacing him is the 1960 World Series hero, Bill Mazeroski. Very good defensive second baseman, 7 out of 10. Not that he's going to get an at-bat in this game, it looks like, but Mazeroski hit .254 in 71, 1 home run and 16 RBIs. So 2 outs. Perez keeps what little hope the Expos have alive by beating out the double play ball, and Chris Spires steps to the plate. Spires 1 for 3, and I think we're going to pinch hit for Spires. Looking for someone who hits right-handed pitching here. And we're going to go with Tom Hutton. Batted .263 off right-handed pitching. So here comes Tom Hutton. Expos' last chance to extend this game. Blas now up to 110 pitches. Perez on at first. 2 outs. The windup and the pitch. Hutton will take. Ball 1. Hutton will take again. 1-1 count. He's ready to grip and rip. Bucks 1 out away from advancing. Seguin flashes the sign. Here's the pitch to Hutton. And he walks! So 2 on, 2 outs. Elias Sosa steps to the plate. The pitcher, he's coming out. And we're going to go to Ellis Valentine. So Ellis Valentine comes to the plate. Valentine in 1979 batted .276, 21 home runs, and 82 RBIs. One swing in the bat can make things interesting here, folks. Bucks fans getting a little nervous here at the stadium. Tom Hutton, batted .253, I forgot to say, in 79. 1 home run, 13 RBIs. So 2 outs, runners at first and second. Valentine at the plate. The windup and the pitch by Blas. And Valentine strikes out! Pittsburgh advances with a 6-1 victory to the cheers of the throngs of fans here at Three Rivers Stadium. What a game! What a game! Greg Gorecki says, I would have started Valentine over White. Yeah, I went with the better batting average there. It didn't work. I unfortunately did not manage your beloved Expos to victory. I'm sorry, Greg. But you know who is happy? Beatles eternally. As he says yes to the victory. So let's quickly go to the box score here. And the box score doesn't want to come up. There we go. All right. So Steve Blas gets the win. Rudy May gets the loss. Blas is player of the game, though I'm going to give co-players of the game to Blas and Manny Seguin, who knocked in 4 runs. Greg Gorecki says, I was a Pirates fan. He says, Clemente and Stargell forever. Oh, Clemente threw out White at the plate in the 2nd inning. It was a huge play. All right. Let's go to the box score. We'll bring that up. Hello, Christopher Anderson. How are you doing, my friend? All right, get the box score up here. That should be up in a moment. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, she goes to the doctor's tomorrow. What do you guys do in the upgrade? Chris says he threw out his first coach tonight. Chris is an umpire. What was the magic word that made you throw him out, Christopher? All right. So we will wait for Chris Anderson's answer. Greg Gorecki says the Boston Red Sox were my American League team, and then when we got the Blue Jays. Understandable. All right, so let's go to the pitching here, and I'll jump in the chat in a moment as we await why Christopher Anderson threw out his first coach. What were the magic words that made Chris give the coach the old heave-ho? And I'd like to thank everyone who's in the chat. Chris Anderson, Greg Gorecki, Ken Castro, Beatles Eternally. Let's see if I forgot anyone. BB4 Gaming was here. Remember to check out BP4 Gaming's channel. Good friend of my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And I think that's it. Well, thank you. Oh, and we had Max Cornelius also. I forgot. I'm sorry I forgot about Max. So we had a nice full house here for us. Good time. And again, we await to see why. Oh, good night, Max. Max Cornelius says, Bucks just too much. Yes, and actually, if you can look on the page, you can make predictions. I listed everyone. Now, just to tell you, the top 2 seeds have been defeated. So they're no longer in the Reds and the Orioles are gone. The Bucks are the first top seed, higher seed to advance. So, great question, Ken. Way to throw that out to the chat. Makes it fun. All right, so the winning pitcher and co-player of the game was Steve Blass. Ken, is Steve Blass from Connecticut? Chris or Ken or anyone in the chat? I think Steve Blass was from Connecticut, who pitched for the Pirates. For some reason that sticks in my head. Maybe even Massachusetts. I think Connecticut, though. Blass went 9 innings, 8 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 1 walk. Struck out 9. Tremendous game. He gets the win. Montreal, Rudy May gets the loss. He was cruising along until the 5th inning. He pitched 4 2/3, 9 hits, 5 runs, all earned. 1 home run, 1 walk. That was that Richie Hebner. Hebner could be actually Hebner. Those are the 3 important players: Blass, Hebner, and Seguin. 1 walk, 3 Ks. Atkinson came in 1 1/3, 1 hit, no runs. Fryman came in 1 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 1 walk, 1 K. And Sosa pitched the last 2/3, clean slate. Let's go to the batting. And the offensive players of the game, Richie Hebner and Manny Seguin, and they batted right next to each other. Hebner went 2 for 4, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, struck out twice, and had 1 home run. Seguin, 2 for 3, 4 RBIs, 1 walk, 2 doubles. So those 2 gentlemen knocked in all 6 runs. Pittsburgh Cash, 3 for 5. That's the Pittsburgh Pirates version of Cash. 1 run scored. He had a double. Mazeroski came in when Cash got injured, which I'm wondering if he's going to be able to play in the next game. And Clemente went 2 for 5, 1 run scored. Stargell 0 for 5 with a K. He struck out with bases loaded and no outs. Robertson, the first baseman, 0 for 3 with a run scored, 1 walk, 1 K. We already went through Hebner and Seguin. Al Oliver, the center fielder, 1 for 4. And Gene Alley, the shortstop, 1 for 4. Blass, the pitcher, went 2 for 4 with a run scored. So he did everything. Steve Blass did everything. Okay, let me jump to the chat real quick. Christopher says, I kicked the guy out for arguing balls and strikes. Well, that will do it. Beatles attorney says, big no-no arguing balls and strikes. Max Cornelius says, yeah, Ken, I think they can. And Ken picks Oakland to win. That's a good pick. With the O's out, he says. So I missed something. Ken says, Blast was from Connecticut. Canton, Connecticut. Max Cornelius is 72 A's. I'm going up. Okay. Greg Gorecki also picks this A's. So we have three gentlemen picking the A's. Beatles eternally. So everyone seems to be leaning for the Oakland A's. And I think they're a lower seed, so I get to manage them in one game, I believe. So that's kind of cool. So, Chris, was he a happy camper when he got booted out of the game? Nope. Beatles eternally says Bucks. He's going to stick with his team. Alrighty, let's go to the Montreal Expos box score here. White was 2 for 4, 1 run scored, struck out once, had 2 doubles. See, he didn't play bad, Greg. He had his 2 hits. But yeah, I probably should have tried to work both of them in the lineup. But see, when you only play these teams once, Chris says he was not a happy camper, the manager he threw out. Beetle says the Pirates will take the A's to school. Chris picks the 78 Sox. I hope they win, and I manage them no matter who they play. I just don't like their bullpen, Chris, and we were youngsters, but if you remember back and now playing their games on Digital Diamond and even now taking a look at them, their bullpen was not really stellar that year. It was okay, you know. Chris says, I gave him 3 chances to stop and he just wouldn't. Well, he learned his lesson then. Kent Castro says, anyone but the Mets. Beetle says the 78 Sox are tough. The Mets could be a surprise team, Ken. They have really good pitching in this tournament. They have really good pitching, and I'm pretty good with a one and done kind of thing. Not too good with the Expos tonight. I apologize, but all right. So White 2 for 4, 1 run scored. Already we did him. Cash of the Expos 0 for 4. Carter 1 for 3 with an RBI. He got the only RBI on a sacrifice fly. Struck out once. Parrish 1 for 4. Dawson 1 for 4 with a K. Cromartie, tough night. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Tony Perez 0 for 4. That was another one. I started Perez over Staub, who Staub came in and got a pinch hit single. And if I had to do it over again, I think I would have started Rusty. Spire, the shortstop, 1 for 3. Pinch hitter Huntington walked. Rudy May 1 for 2, struck out once, the pitcher. Atkinson didn't get an at-bat. Staub 1 for 1, pinch hitting. Fryman didn't get an at-bat. He's a pitcher. And Sosa didn't get an at-bat. Valentine struck out in his only appearance to end the game. So the Expos had 34 at-bats, 1 run, 8 hits, 1 RBI, 1 walk. They struck out 9 times, 2 doubles, no triples, no home runs. Pittsburgh, 37 at-bats. 6 runs on 13 hits, 6 RBIs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, 3 doubles, 1 triple, and 1 homer. With all those extra base hits, you're going to win the game, folks. You're going to win the game. Beatles Eternally says, how many great players went through It's unbelievable how many great players they had through that franchise. Chris Anderson says, Al is good with one and done. Hey, we pulled it off with the Mets, Chris and I. He helped me coach a little bit. I'm good in a one-game thing. Greg Gorecki, Cromartie is one of the people trying to bring baseball back to Montreal. I hope they get a team back, Greg. Greg Gorecki went to the Toronto Argonauts game, and they won their opener. So hats off to Toronto. Let's quickly go to the recap. Montreal scored 1 run in the first on a Gary Carter fly ball. White scored. In the third, the Expos failed to score on 2 hits and an error. That's when Roberto Clemente gunned out White at the plate. In the fourth, Pittsburgh scored 1 on the Hebner homer. That was a bomb. In the fifth, They sent 8 men to the plate. Pittsburgh scored 4 runs on 5 hits. The big play, bases loaded, 2 outs. Richie Hebner beats out an infield single, and the Pirates took a 2-1 lead. Then Manny Seguin cleared the bases with a double, 5-1 Pittsburgh. They scored again a run on another Seguin double in the 7th, made it 6-1, and that's how the game ended. For Montreal, Jerry White 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. Dave Cash 3 for 5 for Pittsburgh. Richie Hebner 2 for 4. Home run, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Manny Seguin 2 for 3, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs. Steve Blass the winner. Rudy May the loser. Let me quickly jump to the chat. Oh, Christopher, you're a funny guy. You're a funny guy. I get it now. He said he wasn't talking baseball, Al. That's good. That's funny. Alrighty, well, we've gone about an hour and 11 minutes. God forbid we go any longer. No one else will watch this video, but who cares? So, I'd like to once again thank everyone who jumped in the chat. Christopher Anderson, Greg Gorecki, Ken Castro, Beatles Eternally, BB4 Gaming. Check out his channel. Max Cornelius. And who else am I forgetting? Am I forgetting anyone? No, I don't think so. I think I got everyone. If I forgot you, I apologize. So remember to check out BP4 Gaming, as I constantly invert those 2 letters with my dyslexia. So, very fun channel. Nice young man. Makes you laugh. Beatles Eternally says, it was a blast, Al. Thanks. Thank you all. Thank you all, my friends. So, once again, the 4-seed Pittsburgh Pirates defeat the 5-seed Montreal Expos 6-1 and will advance in this one-and-done tournament in the National League bracket. Our next game will be the 78 Red Sox against, I think it's the 1970 Minnesota Twins. That will be our next game. It will not be tonight, though. It will be most likely tomorrow, or I think we'll go tomorrow with it. Thank you to everyone who joined me in the chat. It's always a pleasure. I greatly appreciate it. Gets my mind off things. So until next time, health and happiness. Take care. God bless, and bye-bye.